Pyrotechnics can usually add so much to an otherwise bland wrestler's entrance. Not only that, but many long-time fans were used to weekly tapings and pay-per-views opening with a cacophony of different fireworks to get the crowd hyped for the show. Recently, however, the use of pyro has more or less been totally phased out. Aside from financial reasons, WWE officials also feel that they don't need to use pyro anymore because it doesn't add anything to the show, which many fans would disagree with. There is, however, speculation that WWE has phased out pyro due to safety reasons, and while the use of pyro has been relatively safe in WWE, things can certainly go wrong, with near-fatal accidents occurring. In this video we look at 9 WWE pyro fails and accidents. And before you comment down below, where is the Jeff Hardy pyro accident? That was a work, along with Vince's pyro mishap in 2006, so both won't be included on this list. Number 1. The Undertaker suffers third-degree burns. At 2010's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, The Undertaker, who was part of the Elimination Chamber main event, made his usual spectacular entrance, complete with low lighting, smoke and flames shooting out from the ground as he made his way down to the ring. It was nothing out of the ordinary, and Taker had done this entrance with pyro dozens of times. Unfortunately, on this occasion, the flames from the ground got a little too close to him, with one shooting up right underneath him, nearly setting his whole body ablaze. Luckily, he reacted quickly enough to step out of the area and threw off his leather jacket immediately. Though it was brief, the scorching flame still did a tremendous amount of damage to Taker's skin, which could be seen throughout the match as Taker, even though burnt, wanted to continue. In his one-man show, Chris Jericho told how he had so much respect for The Undertaker after the accident occurred. Jericho asked Taker if he could continue the match for as long as it had been originally planned, and Taker said, "Yes kid, carry on." Chris said he could smell the burning off The Undertaker's skin. This is truly insane. Add to the fact that this was an Elimination Chamber match as well, and that Taker was the last man released from the pods at the side of the ring, so that was a full 20 minutes or so that he spent in a pod while his skin was burning, and there was nothing he could do about it. No water or anything. And then he went on and wrestled out a full match. Taker would be out for 2 months after the Elimination Chamber match, resting and recuperating from third-degree burns he suffered that night. It should also be included that various sources, whether true or not, indicated Taker was understandably livid after the incident, with a number of WWE officials trying to calm him down backstage. Just before returning, Taker allegedly yelled and made a threatening gesture to the pyrotechnics worker, as his mistake could have been fatal. Number 2. Kane's ring post pyro fail. As cool as The Undertaker's entrance is, his kayfabe brother Kane takes the spot for one of the best pyros in WWE history. Admit it, the first time Kane debuted on Raw, almost everybody in the audience was stunned when Kane raised his arms, letting off that ring post pyro.
Well, you know, nobody wants... Oh, God!
Nowadays, however, his entrance is just not the same without it. In fact, we got a taste of the much blander entrance in 2005 on Raw. Kane was set to face the Big Show in a one-on-one match, but when he raised his arms to get his signature pyro, nothing happened, leading him to become the big red face machine, smirking at the failed pyro. Number 3. The pyro accident at WrestleMania 24. One aspect many fans in attendance at WrestleMania can certainly guarantee is a massive fireworks display at the beginning of the show and normally closing it. With bigger outdoor stadiums and arenas, WWE can invest a good chunk of money into a good fireworks display, with one source quoting over $300,000 had been spent on the fireworks display at WrestleMania 24 at the Florida Citrus Bowl. During the display, however, 30 to 35 wrestling fans were injured after the cable that held the fireworks on the southwest end of the Citrus Bowl snapped. Assistant Fire Chief Greg Hogarth said, "A guide wire was stretched from the upper pole in the 300 sections of the southwest corner of the Citrus Bowl to the stage at the north end zone. The cable was to supply a route for fireworks to travel down during the show. Somewhere in that period, the cable failed." WWE officials also commented on the accident. "We're investigating the incident and doing everything we can to find out why it happened and to make sure it never happens again. While we apologize to anyone who was injured and or alarmed by this occurrence, we take solace in the fact that the reported injuries were minor." Minor they were, but to this day, however, results of this so-called investigation on how the wire snapped have never been released. The wind conditions in the outdoor stadium were blamed by some, as fans overheard staffers arguing over walkie-talkies about if they should cancel the display due to the weather. Number 4. WrestleMania 33 set catches fire. Last year's WrestleMania, held in Orlando's Camping World Stadium, had one of the most elaborate WWE stages ever. It consisted of a giant globe and a life-size roller coaster. After the emotional exit given by The Undertaker after his bout with Roman Reigns, his exit literally went up in flames. As The Undertaker made his way back up the ramp, his iconic music continued to play. He raised his hands, triggering an explosion of pyrotechnics. As they went off, numerous fans in the audience managed to capture the flames hitting the enormous set and catching fire, which prompted a member of staff immediately attempting to extinguish the fire as a black smoke started to rise. Number 5. Triple H's dry ice injury. Wrestlers getting injured in the ring can be a normal occurrence, but wrestlers getting injured during their entrance before the bell ringing is rare. Whilst we looked at Taker's third-degree burns from his pyro, wrestlers who use dry ice in entrances can also be exposed to injury. While technically it was a special effect and not a pyrotechnic, at WrestleMania 29, Triple H used dry ice in his entrance, which inflicted second-degree burns on both his arms and torso. He also posted a pic of the injury on Twitter. Just like Taker, even though Triple H was in severe pain, he continued to wrestle. Number 6. The Raw set catches fire. Things can get heated on Raw even before the show's even started. In 2012, during preparations for the show, the Raw set caught fire. WWE would post a statement regarding the incident. During rehearsal for tonight's Monday Night Raw at the US Bank Arena in Cincinnati, there was a minor incident involving the show's pyrotechnics. As a precaution, the limited number of people in the building during the incident was successfully evacuated, and the fire marshal has given a safety clearance for the show to proceed as scheduled at 8/7 PM Central Time. There were no injuries. Number 7. Kofi Kingston's Pyro Fail. Before Kofi Kingston was part of the massively over trio as the New Day, he wrestled in singles action and given a chance at WrestleMania 26 to take part in winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. Usually when Kofi makes his entrance, he slaps his hands 3 times with 3 pyrotechnics going off. However, during his WrestleMania entrance, his pyro embarrassingly went off only once. Things would be even worse for Kofi on an episode of Raw in 2011 when none of his pyro went off. Number 8. The Undertaker's face nearly catches fire. Taker really hasn't had the best of luck with pyro throughout the years. Apart from experiencing third-degree burns, he almost came close to having a near-fatal accident with pyro during the Attitude Era. As Taker made his way down to the ring, when he stopped on the steel steps to raise the lights, Kane's ring post pyro unexpectedly set off, which almost fried the Undertaker's face. Luckily, it narrowly missed it. And number 9. The failed WrestleMania sign pyro. One spot you can almost certainly guarantee since the last decade, every Royal Rumble winner pointing to the WrestleMania sign. Well, the first one to start off this annoying trend was Randy Orton back in 2009, but it didn't exactly go as planned. As Randy Orton pointed to the sign for an endless amount of time, referee Charles Robinson would get in his ear and tell him to do the spot on the second rope, which finally set off the pyro. Luckily, he got it right at the 2017 Royal Rumble. Well guys, there you have it. 9 WWE Pyro Fails and accidents. Were there any we missed out? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.